welcome everyone. This right here, right now. It's the Joy of Being a live stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. And folks, if you haven't done it before, give yourself a big old mental hug or whatever you do. What do you do? How do you do? How do you do, folks? Great to see you here. All right, folks, very excited about today for a number of reasons, one of which is that it's my favorite day. Today is the one and only day that I like, but I'm happy to be here with you guys on the stream. I was just talking to a friend, talking about how connections and human connections are so super important, and that is what I'm excited about today. Checking in on the sound. Let me know how the sound sounds. I'm trying to balance it out so it's not too explosive in anyone's ears. But let me know, because it sounds perfecto on my side, but we were having some problems last time. Let's see. I'm in Brooklyn having fun. What am I grateful for? What am I really grateful for here? I know what I'm grateful for. Grateful for friendship. That is the case. Folks, happy to be here with you today. It is such a nice little time to hang out, time to chill. Let's see. I'll tell you what, though. I'll probably tell you more about this in a minute. I'm trying to make this go down like a 1/10 of an inch. There we go. A little bit better. I don't know why that's better. So here we go. What's the point here? The point of it all is what's happening here is I'm composing this. I'm thinking of this like a painting, my background being fine art, and I'm like, this should be exactly, this is right here. This is a good composition. I like this composition. Maybe there's something that needs to be floating right here, and that would be really nice. Just hold this leaf, this old dead leaf, right? Where would it look good? That's what this entire stream can be, just me making a nice composition on screen and staying entirely still. Right there. So folks, what is up? I hope you're enjoying me making a composition here on screen. Denny says, coming from Harlem. Uh-oh, someone discovered our new setup here. Coming from Harlem for spices and cookies. Grateful for spices and cookies. Folks, here's what I want you to do. Everyone is here. Before you do anything, before you put any emojis in the chat, okay, I want everyone to load up your screen, but don't hit enter. But load up your screen with a bunch of little, what are they called? What do they call these things again? They're emotes. Load up a bunch. We're going to hit return all at once. I'm going to wait for you guys because my thing's a little delayed. All right, load up a bunch of emotes in there if you know how to do that. Don't hit enter yet. When I say go, you guys go first. It's delayed, so I'll just let you guys go first. So when you're ready, get set, and hit it. Hit that button, hit enter on those emotes, and I'm excited to display what we finally figured out. This took us a long time to figure out, so hit enter now. If you're just catching up now, we're hitting a bunch of, oh shit, look what's happening, folks. So a little more fun interaction here. Hopefully that is fun and not just super annoying. I can set it up so it doesn't actually cover me, but I think it's kind of funny that it's sort of just like in my face. I think that's sweet. So that is exactly what I'm, what we set up here. We can change it if it's too wackadoodle. I was actually trying to figure out, I haven't figured out how to make it slightly less opaque, so a little more transparent, but whatever. I think it's funny. So folks, let me know if you're joining us just now. This is what I want to know. Where are you? Some people already popped in and said this. Where are you? And pardon me. What are you grateful for this morning? What are you grateful for this morning? I was grateful. This is what I mentioned, was friendship. People I can reach out to and say hello. Let's see here. Julia says, hello from Vienna, Austria. Grateful for equanimizing my gag reflex. So useful at the dentist. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, that is a great skill to have. Excellent. Let's see. Good morning here from Brooklyn. Grateful for a bright day. It is a nice. Oh wow, it is really nice out. That's lovely. I'm excited to maybe hang out a little bit out there. Exciting, exciting. Folks, I also wanted to tell you the news that we are looking at getting a second adorable dog. That is a truth. We're actually thinking about that because it's right now Raquel is at the office all the time and I'm here, and so we want company, and that's the general breakdown. So we're thinking about getting a second one. So I'm excited about that. The one that we're trying to get one a little smaller, even though it's pretty small. We're searching around to see if we can find one, either rescue one or something. But the problem is right now rescues are pretty vacant. Everyone is gobbling up dogs, but we'll see how this goes. So the point of it is, folks, very happy to be here with you. We're going to meditate today. I am taking requests. Usually I save that for Fridays, but Friday actually I remember back, I was like, wait, I just sort of picked something and we did it. So if people have specific requests, hit me with those. Otherwise, I can come up with something. P.S. also, tell me how the sound is. I'm trying to be very not aggressive on the volume side. I'm sort of whispering-ish, but whatever, it's fine. Yeah, so let me know how that sounds, and we'll go from there. Folks, we're going to be meditating here for 25 whole minutes, which is really fun. What else? Oh yeah, afterwards I want to do something a little bit silly. I realized I didn't know this, or sort of didn't realize this. I don't know why it took me so goddamn long. So it's like really day one kind of stuff. All those little silly emotes that we put here that we can make float around, we can have our own custom ones. We can have our own ones that are like special to us. And we're gonna go bop around and talk about those. It's really dumb, really silly, but it's just for fun. That's all we're gonna do it for. I'm gonna put a bunch of Bob Rosses in here. And excellent, folks. So let's see here. Good morning from Toronto. Hello, Sporty Race Girl. I'm grateful for meditation and you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thanks for being grateful and meditating with you and the community. Me too. I'm glad to be here with the community too. The sound is good, a little clearer than last week. Okay, I don't think I even did anything, so hopefully it's just fixed. Sometimes it like stutters, but that could be my internet connection. I think that may be the connection, but people let me know. If someone has a nice solid connection, let me know. Always good to find out if that's the case. Okay, let me jump here. So folks, we're going to meditate for 25 minutes. Find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. So we're going to practice for 25 minutes in stillness, still open to requests. I wanted to catch you. This is another thing. I want to say it out loud because if I don't, it's going to be like one of those weird things in the background. I had the most trouble sleeping last night. Last night, I basically was like, okay, it's about bedtime. I'll just watch one more video, which I did pretty good. I wasn't like up all night watching stuff, but I was like, I'm going to watch one more video. This video is about techniques for fitness, doing kettlebell. And I was like, cool, this sounds cool. And then I was like watching the video. I was like, I want to remember this. I'm going to try it out. And, this 12-minute video turned into basically a 30-minute workout. And I was like, this is so cool. It's so great. And then I lay down and I was like that off and on. And I remember I sent something to friends at like 5 in the morning. And I was like, dude. So I actually don't feel like bad sleepy. I was actually at night, I was like, I can't sleep. That's not good. Tomorrow's going to be hard. But I am like whacked out on low sleep. So if anyone ever has a challenge of fogginess or dullness that comes up in their practice, I'm going to be working through that today. So we can all work on that together. So folks, find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. And turn all devices off. Folks, I'm realizing I thought I could make it without water. That's crazy. I think I need like a cordless microphone so I can talk to you while I get water, but I don't have one now. So I'm going to see if I can shout. I don't know if shouting works. I have to go to the other side of the house. Maybe you can still hear me. I have no idea. But I just need a little of the old nature's fruit juice. Sneak back in here from the other side. get back to a whisper. I don't know, how audible was that? Could you hear me at all? Was it just like completely... This microphone's made to not pick up sound outside of this area, so there's a solid chance that you just couldn't hear me at all. Okay, let's see here. Julia says, my mind is much calmer than usual. Great. Those kind of things actually are really helpful, because a lot of the way that I teach meditation is by effectively, like, empathetically knowing the mind experience of someone else. Someone else tells me this is what's going on, and then I can find that part of my experience. So hearing you say that you're calmer, the mind is much calmer than usual. It used to be, yay. So dullness is now coming up a lot for me. It's a lot calmer, right? So it's going down into the calm direction. So dullness is one of the things that's coming up. Okay, great. So I'm going to give everyone the short lowdown, so I don't have to do the entire thing in the meditation instruction. Short lowdown on deconstructing the dullness. The shortest answer I can give, this is one of my favorite answers, and we'll see how this goes, is that the awareness that knows the dullness is extremely bright. It's just, to be known is to be in awareness, and awareness is broad and roomy and bright. And if we can find that and not the part that's pulling us into unconsciousness, we have to, in a sense, know it without getting pulled into it. That's one of the biggest parts. Then there's the physical part, which is like we're dealing with energy. If the system is getting, sort of going towards lower and lower energy and getting foggy, we want to up the energy a little bit. So that might mean, sitting up straight. You can do a few, like, they call them breath of fire. I forget what the term is, but, like diaphragmatic breathing, just to like pump a little bit of energy into the body. You can practice with the eyes open, this kind of thing. So any of those things are perfectly good. That's not the whole set. We can go over it in detail, but that's not the case. And let's see. Yeah, we'll use that for now. I'm not going to go into every little detail, but for now that's enough. So let's find a nice comfortable position that we can maintain for the duration of the sit. Okay. That's a weird sound. Okay. And when you're ready, we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths. Just feeling the body rise and fall. And we know from our experience that each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. And so if the body is overly agitated, or the mind has been racing around, or if the opposite, we're tired or sleepy, we're going to be confronting this momentum in this particular moment. So one of the keys is to know this particular moment clearly, which can cut through either of these directions, overly wakeful or overly restful. letting this moment be brand new. Respecting the uniqueness of this moment is one of the sharpest tools we have. So physically relaxing the body, sweeping through to be sure we're not holding any undue tension. So relaxing the head, the neck and shoulders. Relaxing the arms and the hands. For a moment, tuning into the rich set of sensations that we ordinarily refer to as hands. Relaxing the upper chest and upper back. Letting go of controlling the breathing in any way, just letting the body breathe as it will. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing the hips and the legs, and relaxing the feet. And now relaxing the overall body experience to no particular place, but letting go everywhere. Relaxing more than we can physically feel. It's as though we can't feel the body letting go, but we can detect the result, a kind of loosening, even if it's so subtle it's nearly impossible to detect. Just one more millimeter of relaxation deep in the body. And relaxing the mind so it's no longer looking for individual pieces, ideally so it can take in the overall experience of the body, the general snapshot of all body sensation in this moment. If it's helpful to keep us on track, we can use a mental label. Each time we detect a general capture of the overall body experience, we can use the word whole to represent the whole experience. Not trying to capture more than what's easily available at any given moment. If we find that the mind keeps being pulled towards individual experiences, specific sensations in the body, for instance, if I mention the words, the sensations of the left hand, the mind will likely jump there. We can simply label that part and reintroduce that set of sensations to all of the sensations, reintroducing the part back to the whole. And so we're developing a balance of mind based on the overall experience of the body, simply staying with this overall soft snapshot of the body. Each time we're pulled to something particular, and the mind labeling that part, and then returning back to whole. And of course, at times the mind will drift. And so we simply reintroduce it to the process. And perhaps remind the mind of how special this particular moment is. Never again will we be able to detect these particular sensations. When people express regrets, one of the most common ones is not being present. So creating a gift for our future selves by deeply caring about this particular moment. Recognizing that it's deeply compassionate, deeply considerate to care about this particular moment. If we're familiar with creating a balance between attention and awareness, this is picking a particular part that we can detect easily and detecting that while we're holding the whole at the same time. We can feel free to do this. If we're not familiar with those words or that practice, just continuing observing the whole. When we notice a part, reintroducing it to the overall experience. And each time we notice that we've drifted, simply coming back to the process. And now we're going to make a slight change. We're going to be exploring a bit of the spaciousness of our sensory experience. So taking a soft inventory of your overall sense experience in this moment. So what we're calling whole before, the entire body, we're going to begin to include all sensing, hearing, seeing, if the eyes are closed, including the darkness of closed eyes, if the eyes are open, including the entire seeing experience. All of the body, including emotion, any thoughts. Not trying to grab every little bit, but whatever appears in this moment. This is the whole overall experience. And the mind tells us our experience is very solid. We have a solid self. We're in a solid world. A bunch of objects that we can effectively play dollhouse with, move things around, and create various roles and interactions. This is what the mind does with the world, with the self. So we're going to call the bluff of the mind. So anytime we detect anything that's solid, or we experience as solid, perhaps a self that feels very stable, we're going to observe those sensations, and we're going to say a sort of overly emphatic statement. This is totally solid. There's no space within this experience at all. This is totally solid. There's no space in this experience at all. And we're saying it in this way because the mind is very good at noticing opposites. So we're looking for that which seems solid. We're sort of being a little bossy, saying you are definitely 100% solid. There's no space in this experience whatsoever. And noticing if the mind then agrees or disagrees, either one is fine. If it's solid, enjoying the experience of solidity, stability. If the mind shows us spaciousness, simply observing the nature of spaciousness. Each solid experience, soaking in, greeting it with our bossy statement about how solid it really is, and then seeing what occurs. This is very solid with no experience of spaciousness whatsoever. Usually the mind will experience parts as quite solid. So noticing if the mind is pulled to a part, if it feels very solid, very noun-like. A real object in space. Noticing too if there's any wanting. Perhaps the system or part of the system wants more spaciousness or wants things to feel solid. Looking in our experience, where is this supposed solid experience? If we find it lovely, soaking in. If we don't find it, notice that the mind still seems to tell us that there is a sense of solidity. So looking for that, soaking in, meeting it with our phrase, seeing what happens. And if we find an experience that's solid, that feels very stable, checking in to see if it's actually somehow dynamic. Dynamic doesn't necessarily mean moving. It simply means it has a kind of dynamism. So often something that is experienced as still is actually two forces pressing against each other. Two or more forces. So for instance, the sensation of the body where it's resting, we might call this gravity or mass. This very stable seeming experience is these two forces interacting, one pulling downwards, one resisting. So noticing whatever arises that is experienced as still. Seeing if even within this spacious dynamism is noticeable. Is there anything we can find that's not spacious or that's not dynamic? And if we can, lovely, simply soaking in. It's not a problem. staying with the practice, staying in stillness. Allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes. Eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point. That's not a screen, not text, ideally. Often, as the eyes open, the seeming solidity of the world comes crashing in. So again, noticing how solid our visual experience seems. There's this small particle that the eyes are resting on, and then there's the overall experience of seeing. Again, we can bring to it our overly emphatic statement, this experience is completely solid. There is no spaciousness of any kind. And whatever arises is fine, not a problem. A sense of solidity, a sense of an ethereal awareness that's simply floating through and touching all sense data. Erasing all the particularity with its overall atmosphere of knowing. Both are important human experiences. So in this way, letting this particular moment here with our eyes open, the same way we experience much of our day, letting this be the great teacher. This is, in fact, the greatest teacher we'll ever come in contact with, this particular moment. It would be a shame if we met the greatest teacher of our lives and simply didn't pay attention. So letting this particular moment show us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay, good times. So folks, let me know, what on earth was that experience like? What happened? And what do you like now? Bust out that digital technology and let's talk about it. Also, P.S. We're working on it, folks. It's slow and steady. This is stuff that people usually figure out way early on, but we're getting there. If you want to chat, use your voice. This is a quick way to get some more in-depth answers. I'm going to put a little link here in the chatteroonie. It's to our Discord. Let me know you're there. I want to, P.S. Tamalan, who's our friend in India, is helping us out. I want to have a thing that when somebody enters the voice waiting room, that they can, what am I talking about? Oh, if they enter the voice waiting room, they can, I hear a tone, some kind of boop comes up or something, because otherwise it's just like impossible for me to even figure out what the heck. Okay, here's the link. So folks, what was that like? What happened, and what on earth are you like now? I did pretty well not getting super whacked out, spaced out, given my dramatic lack of sleep. I know some people, I mean, this is sort of true for me too, but a lot of the time if I really mess up my sleep, I don't notice it until the following day, but we'll see. Today's doing pretty good. Not so bad. Yeah, what was that like? Right now there is no alarm in our Discord, so if you want to chat, you got to let me know that you're jumping over, and then we'll chit-chat like kitty cats. And it is, I encourage, oh, hello, we have another cheer here from Kids696. Very kind of you, thank you so much. I realize, okay, this is another thing on the to-do list. We have to come up with our own cheer emotes. That is another thing that we have not done. Beep, pop, beep, pop. Okay, interesting. Welcome, folks. I see folks are popping in here. Great to see you. We're talking meditation. We're talking life stuff, good times, and yeah, just talking about what's going on. This is my favorite part of the practice. This is where we answer questions. Oh yeah, I was going to say, encourage folks to jump on the Discord, mainly because I can get so much more data from the tone of voice, from the details. I can ask specific questions, and that said, no pressure. I'm not going to pressure anybody to suddenly be, whatever. Suddenly be whatever. Okay, we're going to jump into people's commentios here. Let's see, Julia. Julia says the following.
I practiced with eyes open. Thoughts generally didn't pull me in, but I often got pulled into sea rest and lost touch with the body.
Mm-hmm.
In the second part, the very act of remembering our sentence would push parts of my experience out of awareness, and watching them reappear was fun and interesting.
Yeah. So remember, that's part of what we're doing. So we're using that part of the mind, because a lot of the time I find that we can observe a part of the mind, like, impermanence, observe impermanence, but often what the mind does is just show us like there's nothing impermanent. It's very solid. The mind is very good at seeing opposites. So you give it opposites. You say, I want to see only stability, only things that are very stable, and the mind will say, this isn't that stable, and it'll show us the way things are actually moving and dynamic. Those parts that are saying it's like this, it's like that, those are just other ways the mind is gripping to shape reality. And it's doing that all the time. Right now, it's even unconsciously or in the background, you could observe it creating a kind of soft or maybe solid, very solid sense of self and world, the narrative of time, me navigating the world. The mind just keeps asserting these things and asserting them over and over again. And like a television or a video display that only goes like 24 frames per second. Like doesn't need to do infinite frames per second, which is what we think it is. It's just perfectly continuous. It just has to do enough flickering. That's what the screen is doing right now. So it seems solid, and that's what the world does to us. So lovely, excellent. And I did have fun doing that too. Every time it would sort of like reassert, like, this is very solid. It would like clamp down, and then my mind would be like, is that the case? And just like warp into that weirdness. Kid696, nice experience. Nice to have you here. Glad to have you here. But my mind gets distracted so quickly. I find it hard to center myself. Well, I can tell you're in Europe because you use the wrong version. I'm just kidding. The non-American version of center. So that's the problem. You just have to move to the greatest country on earth, and then you'll be fine. No, I'm just kidding. What was I going to say relating that? It's just a time. It's just a numbers game. So just over and over again, coming back to practice, and within a few weeks, you'll be like, oh crap, my mind can center itself in a way that is powerful. And the fact that you noticed I am drifting away is a sign that you're fully on the right path, because it's often, I realize if I'm not looking at the screen, I can't see all the cute emotes that float in my face. It's not, you're not in terrible shape. You're actually in pretty good shape. So just keep going. Thanks for the little blast there. Super fun. You came here from Johnny's. Welcome, folks. Anyone here who's joining us from any other stream, announce yourself. It's the rule. Announce yourself, who you are. And we're happy to greet you here in any way that we can. We'll keep reading meditation reports here. And also, I popped the Discord in the chat, and I'll just, I can do this again. I'm going to pop this in again. If somebody wants to chat or ask questions, it's really fun. Any challenges in life that are arising, anything that's, whatever, anything you want. Happy to answer any questions, and you'll be able to tell by my answer if I'm full of crap or not, or if I'm actually answering your particular question. let's see here. Gene, also known as JG, says,
at the beginning my mind was wandering a fair amount, but it was kind of slow, not fast jumping from topic to topic. It settled down over time. Again, this for me was a very physical experience. I have been doing a lot of yoga recently and feel like my core has been getting stronger. This in turn feels like it's affecting my meditation in a way I can't find words for yet. It's like the stronger my physical core feels, the stronger I feel emotionally and don't feel a need to grip onto a
grip on a self. That sounds reasonable. That's I've been recently doing some more of that same fun stuff here, and yeah, doing a little more exercise. I've been, like I said, I'm doing the kettlebell, blasting away. I got a tiny light ass kettlebell. I ordered one in the mail. It's much heavier, and we're going to see how that goes. See if I yank my arms out of the sockets. But the more I'm doing the physical stuff, it's easier in a way for the mind to relax and sort of float around. So welcome here. Let's see. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Thank you very much. Lil Giver T9, welcome. Great to see you here. Very happy to have you, as always. We're going to hit you with, this is your first time here, so great to see you, as always. You're number one in my book. Okay, anything else coming up for folks? Questions, interest, opportunities, challenges, difficulties, curiosities, any of those kind of things arising for folks? I'm going to jump onto Discord in case anyone pops in. Anything else? What else is going on, folks? Hit me. Hit me. So, the thing that I wanted to do is my fully unnecessary extracurricular activity. Okay, so you see here, this is folks, a lot of folks here just not Twitch people. They're just meditation dorks like myself. So we're going to start making our own and picking our own emotes. This is a very dumb thing that I'm describing here, but let's see, how do I share this? I'm just going to share this as part of my screen here. And beep up, opening up the other screen, monitor 2. Oh, excellent. Okay. I'm getting slightly better at this. Slightly. Okay, so we're gonna start talking about our team images. So okay, so here's the premise: is that you can pick your own things. You can pick what you're interested in, whatever. So here are a few that another group has. Okay, we got another report here. As we're doing that, let me just shrink this and put it in the corner. You can see some of these. We're going to be picking our own. We're going to make our own. So this is a topic I want to hear from you about. So here are a bunch from another community that I like. These are just various things. So imagine you want to say something. You're like, you know what? I feel a certain way, so I'm going to use a freaking, I don't know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a pixelated Yoda. That is going to express what I feel. And you can see here on the screen, you can't see my mouse, I don't think. Oh, you can see it now. You got Pema Chodron over here. You got Eckhart Tolle with a question mark. You got, pixelated Yoda. Very good. Looks like this is like a weird success symbol. I don't know what that's about. Apparently someone feels successful. Hold on here. Move this down so you can see it. Let's see here. You got cool psychedelic cats, whatever you want. Okay, so that's one thing. Now I want to scroll down here. I found a pixelated Yoda that I like even better. We're going to have that. I have a Mind Blown, classic, internet. I also have a Shinzen, I don't know, presenting a pizza. Remember, these are what you want to express your whatever your experience is. Whatever after you meditate, you're like, Shinzen holding a pizza. This is exactly what I need. A little psychedelic Morty, Mind Blown. I found a Success Man. Punch the sky. So hit me, tell me images, either post them in the chat or whatever you want on our channel, because we don't have any right now. We don't have any of our own, and I don't know why. There's no reason we don't. So here, all right, as I'm doing that sort of ridiculousness, let's jump in here and hear some reports. People so carefully wrote down their reports, so now we're going to hear them. Denny says, Denny, also known as Black Skulls Merton, says,
the more and more I meditate, the more and more life and experience seems very patchy. During the sitting, what seemed like solid aches and pains turn out to be dancing sensations of sharpness and pressure. I've recently also noticed the same thing with the visual field. It's almost like when I'm thinking or experiencing a thought, the visual field fades out of attention. When the thought is done, I can sort of perceive the visual field popping back into awareness.
Great. So, okay, this is the metaphor that I was using before about like something rendering that's like sort of pixelated. Remember, like a video game or a movie doesn't have to be real. It has to be real enough that the mind's like, fine, like I'm fine with this. I'll create this world. I talk about when I play VR, and like if you turn your head fast enough, the system doesn't quite catch up, and it doesn't render the whole world. It just renders enough. This is the exact same thing as our perceptual experience. But the thing is, we're so caught in the render. We're so caught in the imaginary world. It's like the reality of Instagram. We're so totally caught there that we think that is reality. We're so deep in the render versus watching the mind render the world live. Suddenly there's this freedom. Like you can imagine like someone having a terrible time and their lives are just so obsessed. They're like some teenager so obsessed with Instagram, and they're like, oh my God, I just have to worry about this thing and the filter, and I put a picture up a week ago, it's not up, and they're just so obsessed with it, and their life is just tortured by this weird social media app, which maybe some people's, that's their experience, which I have, I totally identify with in certain ways. So imagine that person, and imagine suddenly they realize, wait a minute, this is just a sort of illusion that people are doing, and they see the sort of reality of what it means to be a human, the fullness of all those details of experiencing outside of that realm of illusion. Well, imagine that at a far deeper level, which is that we see the way our system is creating this sort of reality. It's like, this is real straight up like basic matrix stuff. We see the way the mind is producing this reality and see through that and see that there is something deeply, deeply profound past that, which is actually not part of this story, which is deeply neutral. And it seems so dumb, and it seems so like, why would I pay attention to that? Because the mind is constantly telling us, don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to this beautiful, it's very Wizard of Oz, if anyone's seen that movie, where it's like a man behind a curtain and all these like big, beautiful, scary looking displays, but it's actually just this, shrubby dude, pulling levers and this kind of thing. So that's a lot of what we're looking at very closely. And you're just starting to see the mechanics of human experiencing, which is incredibly powerful. And also, P.S., not that it has to be, but very psychedelic. So that's very lovely, is to hang out with and notice that sort of deep psychedelic experience if you want to. You don't have to. You can actually hang out with something more solid if that feels like it's more supportive in that way. All right, Sporty Race Girl, our friend from Toronto, has something to say here.
I love the creative investigation of the now. I was distracted with thoughts of online shopping. Wanting of the object felt very real and solid, but investigating it showed cracks with light coming through and my mind working really hard to keep the light out.
That's great. Yeah, that's, wanting is one of those, wanting, I say this all the time, but like wanting doesn't care if we're happy. It just wants. So if we want that new phone and we want this thing and we want this, people are here and probably want something entertaining, and it's like, these are all normal things. The thing is, the sense that the system gives us, and capitalism really helps it along with this sort of illusion. If I get what I want, I'll be more free, or I'll be totally free. This is all of advertising, is completely structured around this idea. If I get X, I will be free. I will be happy. I will be fulfilled, whatever it is. The thing is, you've been around long enough to know that you get the new, the new shiny phone, and you're like, okay, I got it. Like, how many seconds into getting the new phone does it take before you're like, yeah, It's like, it doesn't care. It just transitions to something else. But really, what I really want is this thing over here. So people go financially broke. They like get obsessed with like a million relationships, or whatever this is, and they can never escape from wanting. So wanting seems like a path to freedom, but if you can't step out of it, this is so elementary that it's like it's hard to like, I want to like shake the world. If you can't step away from wanting, if you can't exit wanting, it's not freedom, it's a prison. Like, if you can't escape, it's a prison. So that is, that's great that you're just noticing that, the system wanting, and noticing that it feels solid, and looking at it and noticing that there's a spaciousness to that. So that's lovely, as always. Okay, excellent. Let's see here. Julia, our friend, says,
I like the radiant person in the 6th column, second to last row. And the dog with glasses next to it.
Okay, let's see here. Radiant person. I like, and also, P.S. we can just make our own if you want to put any image that you want. That's my favorite thing, is if you guys are picking images more than me picking images, but whatever you want. Okay, radiant person. Where would you say? Radiant person, 6th column, 2nd row. Beep up, beep up, up. 6th column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2nd row. This guy? Is this the person you're talking about? This weird, or is it backwards for you? It might be opposite. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. This one? This is, I think, this is a flag. I think it might be is this a Tibetan flag? I forget that this is someone's flag. And then you said also, and the dog with glasses next to it. There should be a dog with glasses. Oh, are you counting the other way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Person, radiant person over here. Oh my God, I'm lost. You guys. All right, somebody help me out here. I'm lost. I like the salty cat. See, that's the problem, is like you can't point at my screen. Okay, this whole experiment is totally screwed. Okay, this is, oh no, it has to be in this way. So it's 6 over, I'm assuming, from the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2nd row. So I'm guessing it's this person. This is your radiant person. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. And then the person with the dog and glasses. Okay, here's the dog and glasses. That's cool. Any other dogs with glasses? Is this fun? Is this entertaining, folks? Okay. I like the salty white cat in between. Oh, okay, I see these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4th. Okay. 2nd to last row, you guys. You're messing with me with the dyslexia over here. Okay, so we radiant person, cool dog, salty cat. Great. Will somebody put this in the chat, because I'm gonna lose it. Radiant person, cool dog, salty cat. Good, great. Okay, meow. Exactly. Do you ever run out of childhood issues, trauma? I haven't yet. Because it's subtle, you just get into more and more subtlety. Old emotion. So I'll talk about old emotion. Let's see here. Okay, old emotion. I like the galaxy brain too in the 3rd to last row. You're doing it in opposite here, 3rd to last row. Galaxy brain, 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd. It's the same. The 2nd to last row. This is crazy. Oh, this one. That would be the 3rd to last. Oh, anyway. Yeah, just do 4th down, 2nd over. Okay, this galaxy brain. Okay, galaxy brain. Throw that. Hit me in the chat with that too. Do I ever run out of old emotion? I haven't yet. I've just found more and more, but what's happening is you're shedding massive layers. And I don't know if really the goal is to run out of it. I think actually what partially it is, it's a sort of alchemy thing where you transmute the difficult experience into something that's actually giving energy and giving peace and freedom. So you don't have to get rid of it. You don't have to like eliminate difficult emotion. It actually does something for you where it actually transitions into something powerful and transformative. Is my system defaulting there all the time? Not so much. Not so much. Okay, here we go. A couple more here. I like the Pepe in shades. Okay, so we got the cool Pepe, which is the frog with shades. That's good. Let's see here. 2nd to last, like counting from the bottom. From the bottom? Who counts from the bottom? Okay, we're all right. You're all fired. This is going to be this is 1st row, 1st column. This is it's just like a spreadsheet. Okay, 1A, and we just go through. So this is the 1st row, 1st column. So if it's the 3rd column, it's 1, 2, 3. Row, it's here. So the 4th row is here. So just count it like that, and I can figure out what you're talking about. Let's see. Gene, thank you for helping me remember who these folks are. Black skulls are more difficult experience gives you a capacity to feel empty. Sometimes difficult experience is just plain old difficult. But yeah, that's basically weird European thing, counting from the bottom. Well, let me ask you this, Julia. This is let me ask you this: do you have a background potentially in Judaism, or I'm guessing you're saying you're from Europe, so I don't know if that's the case, but Asian writing also starts bottom left and goes up the other way versus this way, although I think my camera's reversed, so I'm doing it backwards. Yeah, it's backwards on this thing, so it actually starts over here. Okay, so Western writing, this is very interesting. So Western writing starts here. Let's do this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to look at the difference of Western and Eastern compositions. Let's see. Chinese Zen painting. I hate that my web browser uses Bing or whatever, some crap like that. Really annoying. Okay. So let's just pick an actual traditional. Okay, is this actually showing? I think I need to zoom out a little bit for this to actually show correctly. This looks contemporary. This does not look actually period, like an actual period piece. So I want to find something that's actually from the period rather than something that's no, these are not. Okay. This might be, yeah, this looks like an actual something. So let's take a look here. Let's crack this open so you can actually see the entire thing. Move it down. Okay. So this is a Chinese painting or ink drawing, and the composition is the opposite of where it is for Westerners. So typically in the West, we read from this corner to this corner. We see that's why we read images. So when you see a composition, the eye moves from here to here. In this, in Chinese traditional and a lot of Eastern cultures, you're starting at the bottom corner going this way. So it's meant, imagine you see this picture, your eye kind of goes like zoop down and kind of around, whatever. It just sort of almost goes like this, and you sort of circle back. So it almost, you skip all of this whole world. This is, your eye would just sort of zip down, typically go this way. Oh, there's a thing there, and you kind of circle back. That's how it holds you in the composition. But imagine you read it totally differently. You start down here, and this is just native to your experience of reading, so you just read images this way. You start here and get lost in this little detailed world, and you're in this thing, and there's a sense of space outside of that. Look at the spaciousness. So we were talking about this. Here's the particle that we were talking about, the individual thing, zooming in, and even while you're zooming in, living in this detail, the mind is aware of this much bigger, larger, beautiful space. This larger, beautiful space, P.S., is it clouds? Is it mountains? That's a very interesting visual sort of question that I think this artist is raising. So that's a very interesting question, because the mountains in Chinese Zen are largely seen as a conduit to awakening, conduit to the gods, which is a conduit to awakening. So this village is in the mountains. This itself ends up being like a kind of dharmic lesson. So let's see if we can pull up another one that's actually from this period instead of some fake stuff. So much of this stuff is just fake-a-doodle left and right. It kills me a little. I mean, I guess it's good people are like interested in this, but this is partially why I hate. This is definitely a real drawing. Damn, this is really good. Damn, yo. Okay, great. I think you can see this whole thing. Yeah, okay, you can see the whole thing. Yeah, the same thing where like the mind and visually you end up here versus like starting here and like going down, where for me visually, if I were to start in the upper left and go this way, I sort of just go like whoop and like just land on this guy, and this is sort of like whatever, doesn't really matter to me. Versus if I start this way and you see this weird universe of details, you pass whatever, this is probably word or title or person's indicate, in their name or something like that. Actually, the red mark is probably their name. And then you come this way, this sort of comes across all these words, it leaves you here, you're going through all this detail, this meaning that's cutting across the top, and then you sort of land back here, and then you kind of go back around this. It's very, very rich compared to if we were to read this from a Western perspective. Not to say that Western, paintings aren't incredibly beautiful, let's pull up somebody who's a fantastic compositionalist. Let's do. This is, I don't know, this is going to be weird. This is Ang, but these are all close-ups. Now, well, we can pull up Napoleon. You know, the mind is going to, the eye is going to read this stuff from here to here. So the first thing is this upper power of Napoleon. It's like incredible power, sort of slowly sliding across. You get to his face, which is like, you know, this is a commissioned piece. It's like the most important thing. And because of the composition, like you can just stay here, and there's all of this weight and density though, so you kind of have to push down and see the power and like majesty of all of this detail, sort of slowly exploring, and yet the weight is like pulling you up back to his face. Like all this points right back to how like majestic this person's, you know, visage is, this kind of thing. So it's meant to sort of emphasize the power of this particular individual, that's just the way they do it. Here's a good one. This is, you wanna get advanced here. The Kuan sculpture. So here's an advanced one. You want to go all the way. This is a sculpture. Oh, they're showing the planes, etc. We don't need to see that. Let's look at the actual thing. So it's annoying. I want to see it without the little lines on it. Okay, here we go. So this is a actual physical sculpture that exists in the world, that was made in, like, I don't know, it's Greek. It's very, very old, and the fact that it's surviving this well with all the external parts is amazing. It's just like somewhat unheard of. And in fact, I think it's a recreation. I think there's mostly missing parts, and this is like a recreation of what they think it looks like. So this is, either way, look at the way the composition starts, you know, up here. This is, you know, Greek writing was similar to ours. Starts here, goes to the torture of this person's face, and slowly winds around, and finally you get, I don't know if you can see it here. I don't know if I can zoom in on the screen. But the snake biting is like such a vicious little moment where it's like just about to go bite into the flesh. Where is this? A close-up of the snake. It's so intense. It's really hard. But the thing is, sculptures, real sculpture, true sculpture, not relief, is meant to be seen from many directions. So suddenly the composition changes. You're here, maybe you approach it from this side, and you see this, you know, you come in here, again, reading this incredibly beautiful face, all this muscular tension, cutting right and back and forth here. This sort of moment jumps you over to here. Again, these are not like, it's not always going to be like this, but it's just amazing that for a sculpture, you have to manage the composition from every direction. And that's like very, very hard. A really good sculpture, if you walk around, the back is, as, you know, in a sense, you can't tell what the front is. That's like a sort of very high level sculpture. So looks like we've lost most people who came to visit. So apparently this is a highly beloved, fun thing to do. So hopefully that was good times for everybody. Oh, Denny, you were saying it's difficult experience gives you the capacity to feel more empathy. Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right, to feel with other folks. I had misread that before. No, I only use Western writing. Okay, but I suck at counting, so it's the shortest path for me. There you go, exactly. Kid69 says, so which childhood trauma that you have, so which childhood trauma that you have yet to face, what exactly do you do with that other than burying it till it's ready? I don't know that you can, anything that's not ready is just not going to be there. You're not going to have access to it. So I don't know if that's, you know, a great answer, but the system, as it gets more and more capacity, will give you more and more, you know, detail and access to it. But you want to have good skills to get there, because you can expose yourself to something and then, you know, the psyche will show you trauma. Excuse me. The psyche will show you trauma, not when you're like ready for it and it's going to be easy. It'll show it to you at the first possible moment where it will not like completely crush your mind. So that's like important to know. It's not going to like wait till you're like easy and having a great time. It'll definitely wait till it's like just about to not crush your mind. So that's helpful to know. It's not going to necessarily be easy, but it will not give you something that you cannot handle. But it's going to take all of your resources. So let's see here. Julia says, in response to my long diatribe about composition,
in my experience, it already is buried but occasionally manifests in weird, unhealthy ways. So it's like you don't know how much unprocessed stuff is there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty close. I mean, it's manifesting. It's showing itself. And this is, if you have any addictions or compulsions or these kind of things, that's probably what it is some experience that's too emotionally hard to face. So we got to stuff something on top of that in order to process that. So that's generally that. That's what I would generally say. Okay, here. Now let's see here.
Yeah, exactly. Recently I've noticed it's been coming up and I'm like, damn, go back to your corner, please.
Yeah. And this is I named the stream this today, but it's like the number one, missed tool for happiness. And I didn't go into it extensively because I wasn't sure if we'd get there, but it is interacting with other people, talking about what's actually going on, and we're just physically, psychologically, neurologically, biologically, evolutionarily built to manage emotion in a group or with others. And our whole society and system says that we're supposed to manage it alone, or that's better, or somehow we'll be, in better shape. And especially there's a lot of research pointing to that people who are, born male by sex have fewer connections between the left and right hemisphere of the brain, which means often fewer empathetic, a lower empathetic ability and a lower ability to communicate what's happening internally. And so, it leads to this idea like the real miracle is that Jesus was 33 and had 12 friends. It's like it's harder for people who have male brains often to make connections and keep those connections and value those connections. That's often, one of the reasons why suicide is so much higher in men in that way. So, Jean says, if I recall correctly, the Laocoon was a huge inspiration for Michelangelo. Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, I think that, if you look at the Laocoon, let's pop it up again real quick here, second monitor. I mean, this is a hot take, so forgive me if this doesn't fit with your experience, but the Laocoon sculpture is, categorically a better sculpture than Michelangelo's David. It's like David's incredible, and it's the scale is so heroic, whatever. But Michelangelo there's a stiffness to it, and here's check this out, okay? Michelangelo's David, which one is, as far as sculptural chops, better? Michelangelo David. Let's see come on, we don't the face exactly right. All the pictures are of the face. It's like the face. Okay, better sculpture, right? Here's Michelangelo's David. Okay, that was I forget when this was made, but 14 something. It was after the 1300s. So and okay, this is the best view of it. No one ever takes big pictures of its ass, right? Maybe a few pictures of its face from a few different directions, right? There's a few of those, but the sculpture is a face-forward object. That is just its sort of nature. Let's take a look now at who did the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. Why my mind's Bortolami. I have to look it up 1 second. Ecstasy. Okay, that is Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. This is not the sculpture I'm looking for. Okay, but who is it by? This is what is his name? Something with a B. Guys, help me out here. Who is this? So if somebody looks this up, it'll tell you this is Bing or whatever the hell it is. Oh, Bernini. That's what it is. Okay, watch. Let's look at Bernini's David. Okay. Here is Bernini's David. Oh, that's showing the planes again. Okay, here's Bernini's David. Sculpturally, which is better? The stiff, upright, wooden, David, or this one, which you can take a picture and people generally will go ahead and take pictures from every single angle, because it's incredible. It changes so much from every angle. Like, look what a crazy sculpture this is with this rope made of fucking marble from this angle. Like, look at the power that is, like all this weight behind him, this strength, this thing of him being off kilter and something coming from behind in his face. And, it's like every angle is like powerful. Here's even one that shows all the angles because it's so stunning. Bernini was just like such a categorically better sculptor. I think, you know, Michelangelo came first and whatever, but goddamn, I'm a Bernini fan. Okay, talk about art all day. Okay, getting back to the chat. Thank you, Bernini's David. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. I'm going back here, Oh, yes, Lacuin and Michelangelo here. Julie Temple again says,
I believe the ancient Romans initially alternated between writing left to right and right to left in upside-down letters. So at the end of a line they'd just go down but not back to the other side of the page, stone, whatever.
End of a line, they just go back. Oh my god, that's so cool. That is so cool that they just go back and forth like that. That's amazing. It'd be hard to figure out like where did they start. I guess they start at the, you know, upper left or whatever. Apparently it's called, I gotta let the computer pronounce this. I cannot pronounce it.
Apparently this is called Boustrophedon.
Boustrophedon. Very cool. Bernini's David. I agree exactly. Bernini, thank you. You're way ahead of me here. I already was in the comments. Great minds, exactly. His Apollo and Diaphane is also great. Let's take a look. I don't remember that one. I want to see this. We could just spend all day looking at art images. I'm fine with that. Should we have a Bernini in there? Guys, which sculptures, which art objects should we have in emotes? Do you need to express your deepest desires here? Let's see this image. Let me pop this on screen so we can all look. Second monitor on. Okay. Wow. So you can already tell, like, watch how different the experience is. Like this thing, how light the person in the back is. They're sort of floating, going right into this thing. They're the main character. You switch, and suddenly it's like, it's really about the relationship between the two. Very powerful. You switch to the portrait. It's like the portraits are incredibly powerful. It pulls you in. So lovely. What an incredible sculpture. I don't even know if I've seen this sculpture. Look at this angle. Holy shit. Okay. Lock in your experience of what this piece is like, right? Okay, we're going to do something sort of similar, just a slight different change in angle, right? Look at this. Look at the one. I got to open this up a little bit. Look at the one on the right. This is insane. Nope. Look at this. What an insanely different experience it is from this angle. This is crazy. This is totally nuts. This is like, anyway, what a crazy sculpture. That's a sculptural experience. You know what I mean? Like actually shaping the way you experience the world. Okay, let's open this image up. Yeah, that's just crazy. Anyway. Okay, good times, folks. Let's see. You could have a small 3D one printed. That'd be lovely. I should have a small 3D one printed and put it in your background. Yeah, I could have a full-size 3D one printed. Actually, I should do that. Folks, I have a meeting in just a few minutes. I'm going to jump off. Great to see you as always. Lovely. Beep up is a wish. Folks, I have a wish for you. In this particular moment is just to notice the overall experience. Notice how solid it feels. Notice how spacious it feels, whatever that is coming up for you, just to notice that. In fewer than 48 hours, we're going to be right back here chit-chatting like crazy, talking about sculpture maybe. I still haven't given that report from my last psychedelic experience. I've really been recouping. It's really been like a kick in the butt this last days. I've just been kind of getting used to reality. So that's been intense. And yeah, we're going from there. So folks, I'm going to hit you with the wish. My wish for you in this moment is just to soak in the good vibes, good times, nice hangout that we had, any effect that feels. Maybe you feel any little tiny bit different now than you did just an hour ago, and detecting the day that's about to unfold in front of you and just noticing which parts feel solid, which parts feel spacious, knowing that either of these is just an artifact. The mind itself is actually exploring and shaping and categorizing and cataloging, creating catatonic parts of the world. And just know that we don't have to be necessarily slaves to this, but it can be fun sometimes to solidify in the form of interest of a sculpture, that kind of thing. So folks, great to be here with you, great to practice, do a little meditation, have some fun. As always, Practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we will see you very, very soon.